Hello ladies and gentlemen, Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at FansProject Saurus Ryu-Oh Dinoichi. Now, there's a lot to unpackage here in the name of this figure, but we'll get into that here in a second. The box here is very large. It comes with the figure itself, a very, very large cannon, and two other cannons that form not only the missile pods that can fit on his shoulders, but they also sit on his shoulders as giant cannons, and they also double as the combined mode's feet and hands. So the hands are stored here, and they pop right out with a little bit of force. I'm not going to force it. And then this whole section here will form the feet of the combined mode. Lots of posability there. So let's talk about the name of this guy. The name is actually really cool because we have Saurus for, well, dinosaur, Ryu-Oh, which translates directly to Dragon King, and then Dinoichi. Dino is, well, dinosaur, Dinosaurus, duh, and then Ichi, I-C-H-I, or in Japanese, the number one. If you look at these if you look at the figures, so we have Dinoichi, Dino-Ni, Dino-San, Ich-Ni-San, Shi, Dino-Shi, and I'm assuming it's going to be Dino-Go and Dino-Go-Go, Go-Yoko, whatever 6 is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in Japanese. I'm not really good at Japanese, but I noticed that little naming convention, and I thought I'd just let you guys know. Dinoichi's robot mode is highly detailed and very, very cool looking, though I can't help but think that they put the hips on backwards because of the screws there. It's beefy, it's bulky, and it looks awesome. And look at that head sculpt. That head sculpt reminds me of Grimlock. I swear that's Grimlock, but it's really cool. As I said, the figure is very cool looking, very beefy, very bulky. I'll show you here the posability here in a minute. The only issue I have with the robot mode is part of the creature mode is just literally sticking out 1.5 inches from his back. Otherwise, I think the robot mode looks phenomenal. I think it looks really, really cool. And you can armor him up in very interesting ways. The first gun he comes with is this quad barrel laser cannon, or maybe shotgun cannon. It is very cool, very deadly. It is also a pain in the butt to get into his hands, simply because the main grip here is just a little bit too big for his fist. These bits, or these pegs on the side, fit much better into his fist as opposed to this. It's just a little bit too big and requires a large amount of force to get in. The second armored up mode is putting those feet sections, plugging them into the backs of the shoulders, and then opening up the heels to reveal missile launchers. Very cool. The final way to armor him up is to attach the same parts to the sides of the shoulders via peg holes, and then he can just shoot whatever he wants by looking at it. As you saw, the figure has a very solid and quite awesome robot mode. Now, let's go ahead and get him into the monster mode. Transformation is surprisingly very, very easy. To start off with, we'll take the head, turn it 180 degrees, and flip it back into his, well, back. Then take the arms and fold the shoulders all the way up, and then reach to the top of the arms, and there's a swing that will swing the arms down. Or I should say a swivel that will swivel them all the way down, and they will snap into place. My only real complaint about the robot mode is these sections don't really snap into place along these pegs very well, but that's really the only complaint I have about the robot mode. Now, once the sections have been moved down, or I should say once the shoulders have been moved down towards the lower torso more, we can then come to the back of the figure. Turn the hips around 180 degrees, or the hips around 180 degrees, and then turn the feet around another 180 degrees to reveal the beast feet, or the monster feet. Then we come to the arms. So we turn the arms so that the fists of the robot mode are facing back with the monster. Then we first take these claws on the back of his forearm and flip them out. Take the wrist, or the area right behind the wrists, and rotate that 180 degrees, and flip the fists into the forearms where the monster claws were. And then we can take the monster claws and rotate them around to look like digging claws. And then we can open the mouth a little bit, which is actually really kind of hard. There we go. And then we can position the legs as we so choose to make him look more like a troll. Because I think that's what this alt mode is supposed to be. Some kind of bestial troll. And that's pretty much it. This beast troll mode is kind of what I always envisioned the original Dino Force figures to look like, It's very bestial, very gnarly, and looks like it could really ruin your weekend. I like it a lot. The posability of the figure is quite good, and it works on virtually all levels. The only negative I can come up with in this mode is, well, it's not much of a transformation, let's face it. He kind of just gets a little shrunk down and flipping out some claws, and that's about it. It's not much of a transformation, especially with the giant monster head sticking off the back of the main robot mode. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the robot mode, and overall, I really like this figure. It's just not that complex, but I'm actually okay with that, because this is a third-party figure that's easy to transform and, dare I say, fun to transform, as opposed to a lot of third-party figures that I've gotten a hold of lately that leave my hands bleeding and sore. Giving you guys a quick size comparison, here we have Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Mirage standing next to Dinoichi. As you can see, all of these figures are going to be roughly a deluxe class size. That's a lot of money for a deluxe class figure. Returning the figure to robot mode takes just moments, but there's one last thing that I want to show you guys, and that is his transformation into his combiner part, which is more like head and upper torso shoulder mode. So we'll go ahead and do that now. To start off with, we're going to take his head, turn it around again, 180, and fold it up into his back, come up to the robot mode's chest, and open up the chest, and there is the combiner head, which we will then grab and flip up. And believe it or not, that's a little harder to do than actually say. And then close up the chest once more. Once you flip the combiner head up, turn it around 180 degrees so it's pointing forward with the monster head. And then we could take the arms and fold them straight back, flip the claws out, turn them around 180, flip the fists in like we're going to transform him into beast mode, turn the arm around, and then collapse the arm up underneath the armpit and peg that into place underneath and right here in the gray section as well, and get the claw correctly positioned. Now, the head on my figure is very, very floppy. Once it's deployed, does flop around a bit much, and I'm wondering if I accidentally broke something, but that just might be my figure. Yours, if you decide to get the set, is probably not going to be like that. So I need to figure out what's going on there, but that's just me. That's just something with my figure. So just a FYI, just something to be aware of. And this head has a tendency to get stuck pretty easily, so also be aware of that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next shoulder. Now that we've made the world's tiniest combiner, we're going to go ahead and fix up the legs. To start off with, we'll fold the legs straight back like this, reach underneath and flip out this little panel, which is actually a little bit difficult to do, and then take the legs, and first take the feet and fold them, well, pop them all out of place and then fold them down, which is actually a lot harder to do than you think. Things, thankfully, stay pretty well pegged in on this figure, but when you want to move some things, it's not that easy. So peg that in and peg that back into place. And then we will simply turn these around and fold them up against the body and collapse them. Okay, after a couple of minutes of struggling, and I'm sorry I cut that out, what happens is the legs effectively collapse up into the back, and they're supposed to peg into the chest into this section here and this section right where the tip of my finger is. But they don't want to do it. So, I mean, I could get one side or I could get the other. Things don't really line up. It kind of sticks, but that's good enough. The other issue I have with this combined torso part is this head is really floppy. I must have broken something, because I'm sure, this being FansProject, that shouldn't flop around like that. Anyway, so here we have this shoulders and upper chest and head. So yeah, there's that of Ryu-Oh. So my guess is it's going to be about the same size as a Combiner Wars figure, roughly. So maybe about this big. So yeah, you can really tell that well on camera, can't you? Dinoichi is a very cool figure that I like quite a bit, and I'm really glad I spent the money to get him. But the question I have to ask, is he worth $90? That's how much this guy costs. And guys, I just can't justify you guys out there spending $90 for this dude. Is he awesome? Yes. But he really should be maybe around 50 or 60, not 90. 90 is just way too high. Now I'm going to continue getting this set because I am intrigued, and the next figure in the set, who I own, that I got at BigBadToyStore.com, which these guys are there, you can go get them. This guy is Dino Ni. He is also very cool, but he is $80. I think that's right. Either that or the prices are switched. Anyway, I like these figures. I think these figures are going to make a very cool third-party combiner. It's fun, it's highly posable, it's somewhat easy to transform, and both modes are really nifty. But that's a steep price to be asking for this figure. And I'm really second-guessing that cost because, man, FansProject, their price keeps going up, but their figure sizes keep getting smaller. So if you really, really want a third-party Dino King, this is really the only game out there. And it's quality. It's a top-quality figure. So, gang, that being said, I am Baltmatrix. Ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think of this figure down in the comments. As always, I will catch you next time.